Hi, my name is Koku with blackfilm.com, and I'm here with Christina Milian, who joined Step Up Season 3 only on Stars. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me. How are
My
you?
fellow my fellow Libra, I'm doing good. How are you?
All right, Libra's in the house.
Let's talk about Step Up. You take on this role of Collette Jones, who was previously played by the late Naya Rivera. What was it like not only to step into her to this role, but to also know that you were valued as being the person that could do this?
It was, that was extremely valuable to me. I felt really special to know that the creator and stars and the whole team, actually, even Neo, everybody, I could come onto the scene and come into and play the role of Colette, especially considering the situation and when you really look at Colette's character, it's such a complex role. I mean, this is this woman coming to her own. Of
Mhm.
course, this is definitely the female embodiment, like empowerment. She embodies female empowerment fully and completely in this season. It's amazing. Not only that, like she's struggling with a lot of different challenges. She's withholding a secret. She's in a
Mhm.
relationship with Sage, and Sage right now is unfortunately going to to jail for something that he didn't do, and we know who really did it.
Mhm.
So she's got that little secret, and of course she's also got a tour, one of the biggest tours. It's considered one of the biggest tours, and he's one of the biggest artists in the world. And now she's got to figure out how to keep this tour going, keep the money flowing, and
Mhm.
at the same time find herself. So
Mhm.
there are many layers to Colette that I was like, wow, you guys want little old me to play that? Like, that's dope. And I think a lot of it's not only because of maybe my acting career, because I look at my acting and I tend to do a lot more like romantic comedies and such. So I wouldn't
Mhm.
say it was based off of that, but more so maybe emulated off of my real personal life. And as being a nurturer, being a mom, being my own
Mhm.
boss, being in the music industry, there's so many different facets of my life that I can understand why they were reflecting on it after, I was like, okay, I could see why it just made sense. So
It made
yes, I
sense.
was very
Mhm.
honored to be able to take on this role.
I'm so glad that you
Hmm.
did. I think you've done an incredible job. And I just have to say, like when you first come on the scene and you've got this Fendi bag that's like worth like my entire life. I was like, I want that. Let me borrow that.
Mary Kate, she did she was our wardrobe. Yes, the wardrobe was so on point. It was all high fashion designer. I
Yes.
mean, they brought it when it came to the wardrobe. I was like, what is this budget? Can I get some? It was like multiple, because I had like stand-in too. The stand-in had a Fendi bag. Like, I was like, we're doing it on this set. I like stars.
Star's got a little money, huh? But I wanted to
Hey.
ask you, and Neo, he plays Sage Odom, this superstar and the founder of High Water. But again, talking about your character, she's his queen, and but she's also the queen, right? So she wants to really establish herself outside of him. And as you said, there's a lot of complexities to this role. And so let's talk about that, like her just trying to come into her own and not necessarily being behind him, but wanting to really step in front and doing something a little bit different.
Happens in many situations when it comes to
Mhm.
relationships. Sometimes we tend to put ourselves second to supported and can and really just be their backbone. But at the end of the day, I think she's also figuring out that in the back support even other youthful, like young artists that are coming into High Water, and she really believes in High Water and the people that are there, and what she can develop. And she's starting to really recognize her talents in not only developing people and developing artists, but also even in herself.
Mm,
So
mhm.
I think there's some through her knowledge and also belief, and like I think also too, maybe when you kill somebody, you
One of
might
those things.
you might be a little bit more confident. You might be like, hey, I might be invincible over here. But she finds her strength in her power. And that's when she really starts to understand that a Sage also has an ego, and she needs to look out for
Yeah.
herself, because he might not be looking out for her in the end, at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. I love the way you put that because it does make people sort of have to reflect on their own lives and some of the decisions that we do make, especially when you said like sometimes you kind of put your own thoughts and dreams on the back burner for someone else. I think we've all been in situations like that, and it's like, wait a minute, something has to change here. So that's a really really interesting point that you make there. I think that's highly relatable to a lot of people. What do you think we can expect from Collette this season that you can tell us about?
Ooh, Lord, you're not even ready. Okay, first of all, Collette brings the drama. I'm so excited. I cannot wait for you to see these episodes. My gosh. But gosh, what can I tell? It's
It's
so
always
hard
hard,
not to
right?
tell about what happened. But you could just expect the queen to become the queen bee when she needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, some people might turn on each other, and some people might have to take the baton, take
Mm.
rule. You know,
Mm.
sometimes the queen has to be the king. Checkmate.
Oh, okay. That's a good no spoiler answer. I've got to ask you one last really fun question, and this was just on my mind, and I was just wondering. You're working with Neo in this project, and both you and Neo, you're singers, you're dancers, you're actors. Do you guys ever on set? It's like, you know what, we're memorizing our lines and all, but you know what? Let's go ahead and hit the stew real quick and make something, on the side. Does it ever cross your mind just to make some some music?
You know what? I think we thought about it, and we actually ended up in the studio. So there's some music on the show that we actually that Neo produced, and I also worked on in the show.
I
So we
love
ended up
this.
in the studio together, and we
Yes.
said, you know, we need to do this more because we did this in the
Yes.
past. And Neo used to work together in the studio. So now we're like, man, he's still doing the studio. He's still on tour and everything. He's still doing the
Mhm.
music. So he's proved to me that I can still do that.
You
Now
know you
now we
can.
just got to do it.
Yes, exactly. I'm so happy. See how these opportunities happen in such a serendipitous, interesting way. And it's like now, I would love to hear you do more music. Yeah, I would love that. That's great. And that this show can even
Thank you.
incorporate all of those aspects. Yeah. That's so cool. And just like you said earlier too,
That's
it's
what I
like
love about it. Yeah,
yeah. It's like they've honored all of your
that's
talents.
what that, yes, absolutely, exactly.
Hmm.
So, you know, that's, I think when doing a show like this can gives you the opportunity to be able to show all your talents and kind of like, you know, breathe and show and not be stuck in just one place. So that's
Hmm.
one of the reasons why I got so excited about this show.
Well, it has been such an honor to speak to you. I've always found you to be a very pleasant person. I definitely love the way you carry yourself. And again, I have to shout out the fellow Libra. You know what I mean? I knew you was gonna be cool.
All about that.
Exactly.
All
And
Everybody needs
and
a Libra in their life.
and once again, my name is Koku with blackfilm.com, and I'm here with the lovely Christina Milian, who joined Step Up season 3 as Collette Jones. You can watch Step Up on STARZ. It's really, really fun watch. And like you said, you kind of get into this like interesting, dark world, but then there's a lot of really fun stuff as well, as far as the dancing and the performances. And now she just told us that we get to hear her sing again. So that's wonderful to hear. Thank you for your time.
Get ready.
Yes, get ready, y'all.
Thank you.
More music is on the way.
Yes.
Yes. Bye, girl.
Thank you.
Mhm.
If you
Bye.
want to see more content like this on blackfilm.com, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring that bell.